Oh, she does. Hello there. Welcome to the early days of pregnancy. This is a time in my life that I am definitely going to want to remember, so I'm really excited to document it and just talk through everything. I've watched so many of this type of video. It's so cool how everyone just has like such unique experiences, so I'm really excited to share mine. I want to start by catching you up just like on symptoms. As I mentioned a little bit, I don't even remember what I talked about, but when finding out we were pregnant, we have been suspicious that it could happen because I ovulated sooner than I ever have before. And so the 2-week wait, like the time between ovulation and either getting your period or getting a positive pregnancy test, I was trying to be like very in tune with my body. It like almost everything I was like, is this different than usual? And I would be like looking things up and seeing if things were pointing towards pregnancy or just pointing towards like a regular cycle. The things that I noticed in those 2 weeks, number one, my body temperature kept on rising. Like it rose steeper than it ever had before during just like regular cycles. And then last week, which would have technically been like week 3 of pregnancy, but before I would have known, I had one night of like awful insomnia. I felt like my digestion was just like slow, which both of those are just like symptoms of having progesterone, so that like could happen in a regular cycle, but I was noticing them stronger than in regular cycles. And then the things, sorry, I'm trying to get the powder out of my the things that were different than regular cycles was I noticed like very much increased thirst and very much increased hunger. I usually have my little like eating routines. Like I wouldn't say I'm like the most in tune with my body, but like I am pretty aware of just like what's typical for me and not. And the levels of hunger that I was feeling were definitely not typical. And I noticed it most like during late last week, like Thursday, Friday, I would say. To the extent that I went to like a wedding event on Friday and I think I ate like 4.5 pieces of pizza there and was like still like not that full. Like my appetite was randomly insane. On Sunday, which would have been either 9 or 10 days after ovulation, I did start to feel a little bit more like I was about to start my cycle. I always get this like kind of pressure in my like lower abdomen that feels as if I need to go number 2, but like I don't actually need to go. It's just like almost like inflammation. And I started to feel that, which is typical for a cycle. And so that's when I was like, oh, okay, like I think it was a possibility this month, but it's not actually going to be pregnancy. But overnight, Sunday, going into Monday morning, my body temperature jumped even higher, which typically if you're about to start your period, it'll go down for a couple days, and it jumped even higher. And so that is when I decided to take a test. And that was the day of the super faint, I actually still have it right here. That was the day of the like super faint test. That definitely had a vertical line, but it was so faint that it was not clear. It gave me room to question. Tuesday was the day of the other blue dye test that had a much more obvious vertical line, and then Wednesday was the day of the digital test that literally on it said pregnant. So as of today, I am 4 weeks, 5 days, and so far in the 4-week mark, I have been feeling great. Like I would say, I'm sure part of it's like excitement, maybe like adrenaline or something too, joy, but I've been feeling better than I do just like baseline. I've still been very hungry and I've been gassy, and I've noticed like increased thirst, more frequent urination, but also like the more frequent urination makes sense with the amount more that I'm drinking. Like I just can tell that my body is needing fluids. But I have been energetic, I have been like motivated, and I know that there is a likelihood, not a guarantee, that that will change in the coming weeks and I will start to feel not that great. But I feel like for this week, that has just like motivated me to do like, to eat healthy and to like get things off my to-do list done and like do the things I want to do. Cause I kind of am in the mindset right now, like I'm not gonna speak into existence feeling awful, but that is like definitely a reality that could come. And I kind of feel like if you know you're gonna have the flu for like a month to 6 weeks, it does motivate to do things that prepare your body well and like be productive, cross things off the to-do list, etc. And that's kind of at the point that I'm at. So the early days, physically, I've been feeling great. And I really like the people I've told so far, nobody's been like, oh, just you wait. Like everyone's just like, oh my gosh, good, I'm so happy. Because as I said, I've been an avid watcher of YouTube. I've seen first trimester vlogs. I know that there could be a storm coming, but I'm just gonna try to prepare for it the best I can, ride it when it gets here, do what I can while I can. So that's been physical. Mentally, slash emotionally, it definitely has taken several days and I'm getting better. I still just kind of feel like I'm lying whenever I say I'm pregnant because like, I don't know, like it's a poppy seed that's in there. My body doesn't feel crazy different. I've had the positive tests, but I won't have a scan until I'm 8 weeks. So like that's a waiting period. It's like just under a month from now. Some people go and get blood work done. I'm telling myself I don't need to because like, I don't know, I'm just trying to trust my body for now. Like this is my first experience and I'm really trying not to focus mental energy on if anything would go wrong, but I do think that mentally I am feeling like cautious right now, but I'm trying not to let it like steal my joy. So in the upcoming weeks, we won't have to have like as long of chatty clips because I'll just keep you updated as things happen. But I do plan for this vlog to be the updates that I would be telling you in regular vlogs if it were public yet, but I don't know yet when we're gonna announce, obviously, but it's not yet. But as I mentioned before, I'm so super excited. So pumped. I think when I hit 5 weeks on Sunday is when I'll start doing like bump updates and stuff because right now we're just normal. Like 4 weeks I'm not gonna have anything. But I am just in that like zone of it doesn't feel real and at the same time I am very excited. Week 5 as of today, entering the 2nd month. Your little embryo, which at this point resembles a tadpole more than a baby, complete with a teeny tail, is growing fast and furiously and is now about the size of an orange seed. Still small, but exponentially larger than before. This week, the heart is starting to take shape. In fact, the circulatory system, along with the heart, is the first system to be operational. Your baby's heart, about the size of a poppy seed, which is cute because it was a poppy seed last week, is made up of 2 tiny channels called heart tubes, and though it's still far from fully functional, it's already beating, something you might be able to see on an early ultrasound. Also in the works is the neural tube, which will eventually become your baby's brain and spinal cord. Right now the neural tube is open, but it will close by next week. This is the little picture it has for this week. I'm pretty sure this is all enclosed. That's why like on an ultrasound it just looks like a circle at this point. I know that there'll be a day that I'll look back on this and be like, you had it so good. Why are you talking about this? But we're 5 weeks and 1 day today, and I woke up not feeling pregnant at all. Like the symptoms that I've noticed, such as like the increased hunger, increased thirst and everything, those have gone down in the past couple days. And then I've had like some bloating and indigestion. I would say those 4 are my biggest symptoms that I've had. And this morning, like I feel great. And I've seen people talk about like the balance of anxiety in first trimester, and I really don't think that I'm feeling all that anxious. It's more so just like little thoughts pop into my head, but it is weird having just like symptoms go away for a day because I mean it's so early and it's not even that I was having like such strong crazy symptoms to start with, but just not yet having had a scan. And then today my body feels like entirely normal. It's just a weird feeling. Like it'll be so fine, and maybe tomorrow they'll all like come back with a bang, but it's a weird feeling. It's kind of like an anxiety inducing feeling. I did officially schedule a private scan that'll be next week. It'll be 6 weeks 5 days based on how I'm counting now, which is my last period, but based on when I ovulated, I think I'm really 3 days behind that or about that, but I know they'll set it officially whenever I go to my actual first doctor's appointment, which is about a month from now, a little bit less, like 3 weeks from now. So I am excited for the private scan. It's gonna be an abdominal scan, so it'll be like where I have to really drink and like fill my bladder up so that they get a good image, and hopefully they get a good image. And I'm more excited for it than nervous for it, but I am a little bit nervous because if something weren't correct, I think I would like to find that out at a doctor's office more than a private little clinic. But also I keep having to remind myself, like, what if everything's perfect? What if everything goes exactly how it's meant to go? So I'm just kind of in that balance right now where it's like I'm feeling good and I'm feeling great in the body. Oh, the other thing that I've experienced, not today, but the past couple of days, have been kind of the like pulling, pinching feeling in your uterus that some people talk about. I wouldn't say it's cramping for me. It really is just like, almost it feels like my uterus is bloating and it just comes and goes. It lasts for like 10, 15, maybe 30 seconds and then the feeling goes away. Not yet today though. Lastly, I got new prenatals because I've been taking a Target brand that I got before we knew that we were pregnant. It's just an Up and Up prenatal daily multivitamin and then prenatal choline that it had too. But I was looking at things yesterday. This choline supplement has 110 milligrams choline per tablet, and the actual like evidence-based amount that's recommended is in the 400s. So I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. So I've been taking like more than that now, and I'm almost running out of those. And so it inspired me to do some research and figure out what prenatal I wanted to get. I landed on fullwell, which is the only one I found that has actually like enough of every vitamin. With eating, like you get other vitamins, but specifically like the folic acid and the choline are so important like right now in this stage, and I just want to make sure I'm getting it without eating like 6 eggs a day. So if you're curious, that's everything that this one has. A downside to this one is that the serving size is 8 tablets, so they recommend just taking it like throughout the day until you hit 8. 8 is a lot, but that's why like it has everything in it. It has enough of everything in it. They had a original flavor, which is what I got, and then they also had a lemon one. And I got original because I was like, until I know that if I don't like the original, I feel like the lemon could just be gross, depending on what kind of lemon it is. I feel like instead of taking the gamble, I just got the original, and they do smell like vitamin, but I'm just gonna take them in my bag at work and slowly pop 8 throughout the day. 5-week 1-day update is that I'm feeling great, but I'm feeling weird about the fact that I'm feeling great, but also it's so early. Like some people don't feel any symptoms till 6-7 weeks. So I'm not letting myself be worried. I'm just letting myself try to be. 5 weeks, 3 days, and my least favorite symptom is quickly becoming insomnia. I like very rarely would ever not be able to sleep at night or would just like wake up and stay awake at night. And it's been like 5 or 6 nights since I found out, which I found out, what, maybe 9 days ago at this point. So my ability to sleep through the night has gone down. Last night, thankfully, was fine, which I'm feeling very thankful for, but that is becoming my least favorite symptom. Other than that, I'm still feeling good, which I really like, but also at this point, things just kind of feel slow moving, which makes sense, but I am looking forward to the private scan that we booked. I'm looking forward to actually like seeing something in there. I'm still at the point where I definitely can like forget through the day. And I was talking to my mom yesterday. I didn't realize she found out she was pregnant for the first time when she was like 8 to 10 weeks and like didn't have all that many symptoms in the beginning. So I don't know how much that's genetic and how similar like pregnancies are to your mom's, but I'm gonna hope that that just becomes me too. Zach and I have been going for lots of walks. Lifts in the gym have been kind of back and forth. Like Saturday or Sunday, someday this weekend, I had a really tough lift where like I was very hot. I think the gym was a little bit hotter than usual, but it was definitely affecting me deeper than usual. Like I was very hot. I was like dripping sweat. My heart rate was high. I was like out of breath so much easier than usual. And it was a leg day, like it wasn't cardio. I mean, leg days are hard. But then this morning I had a really good lift where I just felt great. I was lifting heavy. Watching back like videos, I do think the out of breathness, like I'm noticing it more, or noticing myself take just like that, take more breaths or take like almost like more powerful breaths. Like usually my breaths aren't that audible, but I notice it because I edit my own talking a lot, and it's like my breaths now in between sentences are more like I'm like really like pulling in the air. So I do think that's a difference, but still doing okay and loving that. I really just hope to continue having like a positive experience. It's obviously still very early, but I see lots of tough experiences and people's experiences of their first trimesters that are very, very hard to go through. And I'm just trying to remind myself that there is a lot of variety, and that doesn't necessarily mean that doom is coming for me, but I obviously also worry because I just don't know anything that the future holds. Five weeks, 6 days, burst into tears. Not because I felt sad, it just felt like my body like needed to cry. And so from 0 to 100, I just burst into tears, and it lasted for like 60 seconds, cried really hard, and now I feel fine and better. And I felt fine before, but There was like a few days, a couple days ago, where I was like, I kind of feel like I could cry, but like there wasn't anything to make me cry, and I feel refreshed now. But that is not necessarily typical to just like burst and then recover like that. So I can only imagine that it is pregnancy related. And this was planned before, I think this was planned before we knew that I was pregnant, but 6 weeks tomorrow, and we're going on a little staycation to the Westin in Peachtree Plaza in downtown Atlanta. So nice little celebration. Okay. No way. Oh, literally. Oh my gosh, it like gives me vertigo.
This is awesome. This is the best view I've ever had.
And the sunset will be out. I've got some updates for you, and I've got them all at once because this week has taken a turn just for being harder, which I've been knowing is coming, but it also is different of it actually coming. We've actually had our first ultrasound now, which was a crazy experience, just in that it didn't feel real. We went to Little Belly's Spa, which is just like a private ultrasound place, and we very much were going with the knowledge that it was early enough that if we didn't see much of anything, it was just because it was early. I was a little hesitant and like uncertain if I wanted to book an early scan because they can cause worry sometimes if you're not measuring where you think you're going to be measuring, but it's not at a doctor's office yet. And I just was kind of thinking in my head, like, if there was something wrong, then I would like to see it at a doctor's office. But ultimately, we were telling our in-laws, my in-laws, Zach's parents, this past weekend, and I kind of just wanted, like, that felt like very serious enough to me that I kind of just wanted to, like, the confirmation that there was like someone inside someone inside here and we're doing that. So we went on Thursday, and I was really nervous leading up to it because also it was going to be abdominal, which usually early ones are transvaginal, and so this was going to be abdominal, which makes it harder to see too. And they said to come with like a very full bladder, so I was worried the whole day about like getting my bladder full enough, whatever. And then when we got there, it was a really great experience, and we even actually got a call back where we get to go again for free because we were too early to hear the heartbeat, which I have decided to start going by what I think is my actual gestational age. How it's calculated is based on last period, but based on when I know I ovulated, I'm really like 3 days behind that. And I kept kind of saying to myself, like, or no, I'm 4 days behind that. I forget exactly. But I kept saying to myself, like, I'll just wait till the doctor dates it, because then if I have to redo days of pregnancy, I'll redo them then. But when we went for this scan, it was 6 and 1 based on my ovulation date, and that's exactly what little baby was measuring. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna start going by 6 and 1 now, which meant that in my head, like, I was at 6 and 4, and I had to go backwards 3 days. So now I'm still in 6 weeks, which feels rude. But that way, then if the doctor dates it and does it just based on last period, or like if something different changes by the time I actually go to a doctor's appointment, then I get to like fast forward and jump some days. So as of today, I am now 6 and 5 based on what I'm going off of. At first, since it was abdominal, she was kind of like going around. She's like, it's really hard to see. She was like repositioning me. I was like holding my breath because it kept happening. She would like see the gestational sac and then I would breathe, and so it would like go away and she'd have to re-find it again. But trying to get at least glary. So like there's a gestational sac, and then here is a gestational sac with the little grain of rice inside, the little baby. And there's lots of just pictures of that. So there is confirmed someone inside there, and we got to see the heartbeat flicker, the like cardioactivity flicker. They don't count it, and it's too early to like hear it or anything, but it was definitely flickering. Like I felt like strongly, which is incredible. Helped it feel more real for sure, but I've just been struggling mostly with tiredness, and I see people posting TikToks and honestly they're making me feel seen. I'm still early, like I'm not even at 7 weeks yet, but the way that the tiredness has hit just in the few days that it has hit has been just a mental battle, I would say. I've seen people say how it's really hard to go from being like a functioning adult, maybe even like a high functioning adult, to what feels like just like not being able to get through the day. And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at. Like I've been taking lots of just like 20-minute naps. Like I've just been exhausted. Like I've been in bed a lot, on the couch a lot, just not up to the same like speed and energy that I'm used to. Which, saying out loud, is such a like, well, duh, like that's what first trimester is. Like, I'm growing cartilage, I'm growing a brain. Of course I'm gonna be tired, but it is just different, and a different feeling of like not being able to keep up with my same routines that I really love, and like feeling like I'm just literally not even doing the bare minimum is very hard. So I'm trying to work on not like being mean to myself about it, but first trimester is difficult. And I'm still early enough in it that it feels like there's just a really long road ahead. There have been a few days that I've gotten nauseous. I haven't gotten sick, but my stomach just is quite precarious. I would definitely say the exhaustion and then the like mental battle that comes with that has been the most difficult thing for me this far. And I'm like trying to gear up to be ready for it to last like at least 6 more weeks, which is feeling kind of long and tough at this point. But just a mixed bag of really cool actually seeing inside paired with just like not feeling good. And I don't know if this is true for everybody, but for me, it's just hard to feel positive whenever I am not feeling well. But no matter what, like days will pass, I'll get through it. We have a week and a few days until first doctor's appointment, so that'll be big too. But I think I'm gonna end off the video here, this video here, because we have done the early weeks of pregnancy, the early days of pregnancy, and I don't know what I'll be filming between now and the end of first trimester. I hope that, I don't know, it just depends like what happens and where my headspace is, and I understand that a lot more than I did before I started to experience it. But thanks for joining me for these monumental first days, and I'll see you next time.